July the 5th, 2020. Guys, hope everyone's had a safe weekend, travel safely, and everything's worked out well. What we're looking at is satellite images over the Gulf of Mexico, and we have a system that is forming due south of Mississippi, right there. Now you can see the way that the water is tracking. The storm is going to move off to the east or to the right on the screen, and their projected path, and we'll take a look at some of the information, is going to bring it very close to shore in this area. It's going to turn it up if it stays in the projected path and move into the Carolinas. So you're going to have it weaken somewhat, if it depends on how strong it's developed, in the next day or so, and then it will weaken over land and come back out into the warmer waters of the Atlantic along the path of the Gulf Stream, because that is warmer water. Again, we'll take a look at this right there. So boating interest in Florida over the next few days. Keep an eye on this, and guys, watch for, of course, rip tides and a little bit higher tides also. Now, looking at the graphics, Tropical Depression 5 right there has been out for a couple of days, guys. I haven't talked about it because it's moving out into the North Atlantic. It's not expected to hit the mainland at all, but you can see the path of this one. 40% chance. It says recent satellite and radar observations indicate that a small low-pressure system is formed with a broader area of low pressure near the northern Gulf Coast. The low is producing a few showers near its center, and some slight development is possible before it moves inland early Monday. The broader low-pressure system is forecast to move northeastward and could emerge offshore of the Carolinas later this week. It's saying that, again, 40% chance of development, 48 hours, 20% chance, and through the 5 days, the 40%. Now, backing out, looking at the entire Atlantic, you can see where the dust is now. And guys, this has looped back up through the Atlantic, and you guys in the UK, in that area, have been catching it out on the islands. And so it has almost made a full loop. But what we're dealing with, again, you see this spot, that's the sun moving over the Atlantic right there, but the dust is back into this area, and it's into the Caribbean. We've had somewhat of a break. You can see it's clear in the Gulf right now because of all this weather, and that absorbs some of that sand, and we had that break coming anyway. But there's still a lot coming. But guys, this area right here is tied into the overall loop of the sand coming off of the Saharan Desert. You can also see Tropical Depression number 5 right there, and again, it's moving out to sea. And looking at the current images on VentuSky, you can tell where the majority of this Saharan dust is. You still got some north of Houston. You're in the moderate range, but a lot of this rain that we've been getting, which has been coming out of the north each day, has cleared a lot of that up. Now it's starting to build back up. If you look down into the Caribbean, unhealthy, 138 up into 175, 184, very unhealthy. And this will be moving into the Gulf of Mexico. But I talked about this in a video a few days ago, that if this got caught up into this northern Atlantic jet stream, that it would get back to you in the UK. And you can see here, yesterday it was stronger as far as coming straight in, but now with this downward push, you can see it moving all the way into Paris. Guys, check this out. Right there. Headed into more of it towards northern Germany. So your skies, you may see this golden hue that looks just a little different, almost like yellow sunglasses or something on in that area, if it's not very cloudy. Now, look what's coming, and it's still strong as it's coming off the African coast, 348, 398, very unhealthy, and you can see where it's coming. It's going to be a slight break here because the top half of it is actually what got caught up in this northern movement. The same way that this Tropical Depression number 5 sitting here is moving, that's the way that is. And if you look right here, and yesterday you could see it good, it's made a full loop in some cases and coming back down. It's amazing to see this. It's different than it has been over the years. Again, we're looking at today on the 5th, Tomorrow, Monday on the 6th, let's just see the movement involved in this. Getting closer up into the Gulf of Mexico. Going into the 7th here. And the Gulf is full again. Now, by this time, the system's going to be moving over Florida, trying to get back into the Atlantic. And going up to Wednesday on the 8th here. Again, slight break in the Gulf of Mexico itself because of that system. But you can see what's moving in Houston. Again, you're 79 unhealthy for sensitive groups, moderate, offshore. You got another line there. Again, this will change each day. It's just depending on the wind patterns and what different type of low pressure systems that we're dealing with here. But it will continue through August. And then if one good thing about the dust, it's not good to breathe, but it has kept some very hot water from creating a large hurricane so far this year. That's not going to hold out through the entire hurricane season. The waters have to release this heat, or the planet will overheat. It's a natural cooling process. But be aware of this dust. People are saying it can affect your lungs, sore throat, itchy eyes, things like that. Just be careful. We're watching it, guys. As soon as they update from the National Hurricane Center on the system in the Gulf of Mexico, I'll come in and update that. Be safe.